Welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host, and Disembodied Hands, Queenie, Disembodied Beard, John, and everybody else. Hi. Hi, how are you all? I didn't miss any subs, did I? No. Okay. You are done with today, huh? Oh, no. What? Kiki says, oh, no, also. Yeah, I was just commiserating with Kariniko. Yeah, I was. Kiki says Bork. She agrees with you, Kuro. When I say, oh no, she thinks it's actually something alarming. It's really funny. Keeks, no, we're fine. Settle down, please. Settle down. We're all good. All gone. Yes, the bad thing is all gone. Yes. You are such a dingo. You're such a dingo. What a dingo. All right, go lay down, dingo. Settle. Yeah, it's work time. Work. It's going to be hot again today. So I'm hoping, hey, enough, Kiki. Settle down. Settle. Work. There we go. Hot again today, so hopefully it doesn't get too toasty back here. You know what? You should just feel happy anyway, Kerniko. Who cares what you painted? You painted. You finished stuff. Who cares? All of these goals are artificial constructs anyway. Actually, what I need to do is kick my slippers off. If I have my feet bare, then I'm feeling cooler. There we go. Yeah, tomorrow should be a little cooler, so. Oh, her tail? Yeah, it's a giant poofy plume. Giant poofy plume. That's your tail, ba. Ba-ba. Oh, go settle. There's nobody here, Kiki. Go settle. She's still convinced that there's someone here because of Kerniko's bad dragon day. Not that any dragon day is a bad dragon day. Again, supporting my thesis. Right. There you go. See? More hiking. Right. Exactly. What Laura said. I'm 100% supportive of what Laura said. You can just paint a dragon just to paint a dragon, not because you have a goal. I'm thinking about getting David one of those bookkeepers, the book ends, the 3D printed book ends to paint for Christmas, by the way, Kerniko. So thank you for alerting me to the presence of those. Right, Keekers? Right? Yeah. I just need to remember how to find them. I happened across them on the interwebs yesterday. Defeat from the jaws of victory again. Yeah. Okay, Bubba. I want you to settle down now. Work. You got yours on Etsy. Yeah, I just have to remember the company. Like, maybe I just need to look up Google 3D printed fantasy bookends or something. I don't know. I just need to be able to find it again. Yeah, it's supposed to be 86 today, according to the thing. Which is, alright. Not as bad as it was yesterday, but tomorrow's supposed to go down to 81, and that's just about perfect. Just about perfect. Alrighty, let's bunny. I want to do the pants and get them darkened down. I'm going to use brown liner for a shadow once I find it. Haha. Ah! Apparently I've just misplaced most of my things. Because, why not? Why not misplace most of my things? For those who missed my stream, we finished all of the green work on Critter. And so now I can prime Critter. And I realized after I looked again once the green was cured that one of my buttons is a little lopsided on the Moonlight Minis one, guys. But that's okay. I can use a knife to fix it. Kiki, I said enough. Settle down now. No. Go settle down. Work. Go settle. Keep it up and I'll shut you out in the other room and we'll close the door. And you don't want mommy to do that, so settle down. That's right, I was using Sticks and Monarch mixed together for that purple. Oh, we need to go an extra time. Bummer. Bummer. Okay, so let's get this purple. I want to darken this down to almost black, and I'm going to be using brown liner instead of using black because I don't like the effect that pure black gives. So brown liner will produce a visually softer shadow than pure black will, so I'm going to be adding that in. And then I'm probably going to be raising up some highlights on this using Runic Purple, which is a handy mixture of magenta plus white, plus I think a touch of blue, but I don't remember. Whatever the case, it's a great highlight for purples. Yeah, that's sad. Your whole team is sad, Gurniko. So first I'm going to mix up my 50-50 mix of Sticks Purple and Monarch Purple, and and a touch of white, and that's what that purple is on the pants. And I'm going to mix up more than I usually would because I'm going to be using it to mix shadows and highlights. So I'll do 3 drops of each plus a drop of white. So for those who weren't on my stream yesterday, I did something truly insane yesterday. Something which totally makes me doubt my sanity, but I'm doing it anyway, which is I actually looked up 5K races near me, and there was one coming up in 5 weeks for the San Francisco Marathon, and I signed up for it. So I'm going to run my way through their 5K fun run. And I was going to try to finish under 45 minutes, but I don't think I can with my current weight. Because the more you bounce when you run, the more you try to run faster when you're overweight, the more pressure you put on all your joints and muscles and everything, and I just don't think it's wise to do that to myself. So I'm going to probably not be able to break 45 minutes, but I will try to break 50. I think 50 is doable. The cap is 1 hour. Because it's a walk run. Like, there are plenty of people who actually do it with strollers. New Encode, thank you for the resub. 55 months. Super cool. But yes, I have not and have never been a runner. I've always kind of been a little bit jealous of people who could run. I won't be able to really run until I lose a lot more weight, but practicing running, not really running, but practicing, is, another tool in my weight loss arsenal because it burns calories, and especially it burns fat calories. So that is where we're at, folks. On the 27th, on the 26th, I'm doing this smart. I'm doing this smart. I'm staying overnight because it's early, right? It starts at 7:30 a.m. Usually that's when I wake up. So I am staying overnight at a hotel down near the Presidio, and by myself, and I'm going to walk it's close enough to walk to the race course the next morning. So that'll be a nice warm-up. And then I will proceed. And it's flat, which is what I was looking for. I was like, I really wanted to do one, but I only wanted to do if it was on flat ground, because that's what I'm used to. I'll start throwing hills in if I can, but around here everything is flat, so the only thing I've trained on is flat. So I certainly wasn't going to try to do 3.1 miles on hills when I was only trained on flat. All right, let's put some white in there. Where's my white? Oh no. Ah, there it is. Hiding. Hiding. Cleverly disguised in plain sight. But yeah, so last night I did 1.5 miles in my walk run. Total of 3 miles because it's 3/4 of a mile to my track and it's 3/4 of a mile back. So total of 3 miles last night. And I feel it this morning. Like I need to sit down, and I've learned the hard way now that I need to do lots of stretches when I get back from doing this. Because my calves are like so tight this morning. Sad, painful calves. I didn't know that I needed to stretch them, but now I know. So, all right. The fact that I put some white in here means that my shadows color is going to gray out a little because there's a lot of black in this brown liner. And by putting that white in there, I'm going to produce a grayish effect. But it's probably going to be a fairly small grayish effect because I'm not adding very much white. So we shall see what we can do. But yes, I'm officially registered. I think that like tens of thousands of people are going to be doing this, by the way. Like it's going to be an insane glut of people. And everybody will be passing me. Possibly even the walkers. I did think about just speed walking it, and I'm going to try to run as much as I can, but if I have to revert to speed walking, I will. Because you just need to be able to walk 3.1 miles per hour to be able to finish in time. And I know I can walk that faster. So, and that'll spare me a bit. So let's take a brush full of this and mix it into our brown liner. That's not going to shift our brown liner very much, so we'll do another big brush full. I don't necessarily want my brown liner to turn purple, but I want it to get closer to my color. Yeah, so it's a little bit purpley. You can see a little bit of purpley color coming in there. I have to edit I have a lot of Patreon to do now, but yesterday I got like spitting distance from the end of Rite of Winter. Like the finale is written and all I need to do is write like the wrap-up scenes. Like that's all I need now. It's just like the wrap-up scene for Ash and like then the like the kind of the greater like the wrap-up scene if right after the climax and then the greater wrap-up scenes for everybody else. Which I will be able to do this week easily. I'm not going to push myself. I'm so close. I know I can make it, but I have to get my Patreon stuff out too. So essentially, I think I'm going to write for half an hour after lunch every day, and I should have it done by the end of the week. I had hoped to finish it yesterday, but I pushed myself and got like almost 3,000 words total, and I still had those to do, and I didn't want to do those scenes when I was tired. So, hey, Hyper Bunny, thanks for the resub, 39 months. And good morning, Thormel. Or evening, or whatever you're at. But yeah. So, hopefully Richard stops in. I'll send him a note. I have to organize all my beta readers. My process now is going to be to go back and do a rewrite myself for continuity and rhythm and just to find as many corrections as I can. Then I'm going to throw the thing through Pro Writing Aid, which is its AI editor, to see what it catches, like little things that I will have inevitably missed. And then it's going to go to all you guys. All of my beta readers. Like, only a few of you guys, I guess, technically. Only a few of you are beta readers for me. But I appreciate everyone who is. You know what, Kuro? I haven't asked you, but would you like to be a beta reader? I don't know how fast you read. Because I do need a fairly decent return, like a few weeks, once I get it to you guys. I would like to get it out before ReaperCon. And I need time to integrate your changes after you give me feedback. Okay, I'm going to mix my highlight. We're going to grab just the color I said we were going to. Runic Glow is a really good, fast purple highlight for when you don't want to think too much. But pretty much one thing that I ask my beta readers is one that you are able to read through the book and give me. I'll give you some specific questions that I'm looking for answers for. And then the only other thing is I ask that you leave a review when very, very close to the day it launches. So it doesn't have to be the day it launches, but it can be right after. If you have time. It's not necessary. If you can't, you can't. I never, it's never a requirement that you leave a review. But I would love it if you would. You don't know if you're a fast enough reader? It's a shorter book this time. It's probably going to be about 80K. It's between 75 and 80K, just like I thought it was going to be. I would need it probably within 3 weeks. It really depends on how fast I can get through my own editing process. So we can put it on a maybe, and I think I probably can message you on. I think I've got you on Discord, don't I? And we can try to work it out. Because you seem like you and your roommates actually seem like that you're totally. My writing is totally up your alley, which is actually just the beta readers you want. Your target audience are the best beta readers. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit more white in there just to lighten it. Just because these are so close, you can see the difference, but it's not so much lighter. You see it more that it's redder than that it's lighter. So we're gonna pop an extra drop of water in here. You can also just give it a shot, Kuro, and if you don't quite get it in time, it's not... The great thing about being an indie author is that if you give me feedback after the fact, and it's not, too disruptive, it's typos and stuff, it's so easy for me to just fix those and re-upload the file. And you can also always give me just feedback on the parts that you've read so far. Do a tag team? Yeah, sure. I'm fine with that. If I send it to you and you both read it, and do kind of a tag team thing and give me feedback, that would be great. I'm up for that. Thumbs up. I will message you. I'll put it on my to-do list. It won't be, maybe it might not be till the weekend because I have to focus on Patreon. Yep. Message Kuro Discord. I'm almost dead sure I've got you on Discord. Or you could message me and then I know I've got you. Yeah, pretty much I'm just looking, I would like a solid 5 people to be my betas. So if you join, then I've got my 5, technically 6 with your roomie. Everybody catches different stuff, so more people definitely better once you have. I'm going to add a little water to this. Keep everything wet. Because I already have a base coat down, so I don't have to worry about coverage. All I have to do... Yeah, awesome. Message me. Thank you. Needs more dudes and not enough cats. There'll be cats coming up. There would be a cat. The cat. A legendary cat will make its appearance... His appearance in book, oh boy. How many books I have behind am I, Anne? Book 6? Now that I've had to throw 2 books in the middle here. I'm looking forward to 3 Favors though. I think it's going to be kind of a joy to write. It's going to be the opposite of this book where I was just kind of flailing around for a while. Because it's about foxes, and I just think it's gonna... I have this feeling about it. I have this gut feeling about it. Well, of course, but then there are those who aspire and those who are. Those who succeed. I hope you'll like him. He's one of my favorite characters, and he hasn't even been shown yet. That's the thing when you've been thinking about a story for years and years and years and years and years. You have these characters that you just love, and you're just nobody else even knows, about these characters yet. Nobody even is there yet. Cat with a capital C. Yeah, cat the totem. Yeah. Cat the spirit of cats. Yeah. Since I'm so into World of Darkness, I of course I'm familiar with that. This is a little different, but I'm not going to spoiler it. Alright, so just putting a little highlight there in the front to see if it's going to bleach out a bit. Now, if you, and this is inevitable almost when you highlight purples, is that they're going to bleach out a bit. They're not going to stay as warm and vibrant and purpley as you would like them. And the way to get around that is to glaze with magenta after you're done with your highlights. It absolutely will fix it. But yeah, so don't worry, there'll be a cat. I can't keep talking about it though because I'm going to want to spoiler it. That's my problem is I get so excited. I'm just like, ooh, and this, and this, and this. Oops, I've spoiled everything. But I know myself well enough now. I used to do that too. I was terrible about that during my D&D games that I ran in college. Oh, funny thing. It's a terribly funny thing about strength stuff. My, the coach I follow, Becca, and who also coaches me, was posting about overcomplicating things. The tendency to overcomplicate things. And there are certain strengths, apparently, that do this, that are legendary for overcomplicating things. And there's 5 of them. And she posted this, and I looked at them with a sinking feeling. Out of all the people who posted in the comments after she made this post on her Patreon, people speaking up who had like 2 or 3 of these strengths, I have all 5 in my top 9. Complicated? Yes. Extremely complicated. Like, I can't tell you, like, when I was writing East of the Sun and West of the Moon, I was like, maybe this is too simple. And everybody who's read it is just like, I love all these twists and turns. I'm like, unintentional, just the way I do it. There may not be a cat. Oh, when your purples bleach out, Crowley. So, like, inevitably, when you are highlighting purple, even if you're using something like Runic Glow, because you have to add white to go up, and you've got a lot of territory to cover, it's going to bleach out, and you're going to lose some of the vibrancy. So if you want your purple to stay really saturated, or more saturated than it tends to lean once you've highlighted it, just hit it with a glaze of clear magenta. Just a little. So yeah, it appears I do have a tendency to overcomplicate things, which is why I was looking at this book, and part of my dissatisfaction with Rite of Winter all along has been the sense that it's too simple. Like, I have 2 protagonists, because you're both in Sadis's head and in Ash's head at various times. And you take a little bit of a vacation from them to be in some other people's heads here and there, but very, very little. But yeah, I was sitting there like, just kind of, is this just too simple? Now I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not the best person to judge too simple. Sure, Crowley. Now, be careful with it, because if you go too saturated and you don't have other saturated colors on the figure, you can go way too high with it, with the magenta glaze, because it's pretty hot and it's gonna punch up your color really fast. So if you've got any muted colors at all in the figure, just be very cautious. Make sure you use a very thin glaze. All right, so we want to get some of the shadows in here. I just want to shade down a lot of stuff. You can see how I'm starting to bring it in. I want to thin this shadow color down a lot. It's kind of a grayed out bruisey purple at this point, and I want to... There's a button. There you go. Yay! Trashorama subs for 52 months. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So I just want to essentially use this thinned down shadow color. I want to hit everything on the underside. I want to knock it down. And I'm just going to kind of creep this darker color in a bit here and there. And kind of mix it with my base coat color. I want to darken the pants overall. I don't want them to actually stay this light. So I want to really bring the shadows down if I can to make this a dark on the figure. Not as dark as the legs, obviously, and because these are next to each other, I have to watch that. But I do want to darken them just a little bit, and I can do that by broadening my shadows. Oh man, it's already getting warm in here. I closed my window. Maybe I need to not close my window. It's only 70 right now, but I wanted to close up the area and get some cool air. But maybe that was a mistake, because now I'm starting to sweat. We cooled down the house okay last night, but I think it didn't get quite as cool back here as I wanted it. It's a little bit of air movement, not bad. It's very much more still today, which is going to make it hotter. Yesterday we had a beautiful breeze. These were the worst kind of days in Texas too, where it's just like dead air. Just a tiny breeze out there. Hopefully it picks up a little bit more as the day moves on. In Texas, it would start breezy in the morning and then it would just drop to nothing. So hitting it with the base color again. Going to bring up my highlight color a bit. Just on some of these folds. And on the top part of the leg. But I don't want it to be quite as strong as it is out here, so I'm just gonna use it lightly. Yeah. Ah, I have no AC, Pyro. No AC in this house. We have a little free-rolling AC unit that we put in our bedroom at night so that we can sleep during the hottest parts of the year. But that's all we've got. And I don't generally run that during the day because I spend most of my time during the day out here, out in the main room, which is way too big for that little unit. But I'm sorry your central AC is out. That is pretty brutal when you're used to it. And you have to alter your whole routine and everything because you've got to stay in a little tiny room. If it got really hot for multiple days, I would have to figure out a plan for that too. I'd probably put it in the back room if I could. It'd be hard to do. I'd have to find a way to block up all of the window, because there's no windows, only a door. I'd have to block off the rest of the door with cardboard or something. Hey, thank you for the resub info. It is a resub day, apparently. Thank you for the resub. 57 months. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's too bad, Parmancer. I'm sorry about that. I hope it gets fixed fast. At least it's summer. Usually they'll rush to help you to fix it. If it's really hot months. I just have to close up my house and our foam roof keeps it cool. Neil was heavily involved, though, wasn't he, with the Sandman series? Like, Neil Gaiman is heavily involved with anything that his stuff gets made out of, or into, rather. Oh, you can't afford to fix it. Got it. Yeah, it is expensive. We got lucky when we were driving up to Ashland. David's AC and his car went out, and I was like, "You better hope that this is a coolant issue, because if it's anything else, it's going to be expensive to fix." And we're sitting there and we're driving through places where it's 93. Eventually, we just cranked the windows down because any air movement, even if it was super hot, was more tolerable. And I was so glad that we hadn't brought Kiki, because she would have been it would have been bad for her. So I'm just adding in some shadows here to bring out the texture. There's the arm over the back of the pants here, so I can actually shade that to show that. And I've got a big wrinkle back here. And then I can shade all of this interior part. Oops, sorry. Trying to stay on camera here. My rolling unit goes out the window normally. It's only got a short panel that essentially blocks off the rest of the window pendrake, so I would have to rig something to block off all of the screen door if I wanted to use it in a painting room. Chances are I would just try to rig something in our bedroom, though, and not bother trying to put it in the hobby room. I mean, I can rig the bed so I can sit and type, so I can do video editing and writing on there. I just can't paint. But it would have to get very hot for several days, because our house, I mean, we've got a system. Pretty much when it gets cooler out, we put fans in all of the apertures we can to pump the house full of cooler overnight air. And if we do that, we're pretty good. It just gets hard around 6 p.m. But even this heat wave hasn't been as bad as one we had last year. Our humidity has not been absolutely terrible. And in the evening, it cools down fast. So it actually hasn't been as bad as it could be. So now I'm kind of just, you can see those shadows now on this leg here. I'm just going to start blending in my highlight just down the top of the leg. Yeah, I mean, I try not to judge people on their personal lives, Kuro. Like, especially famous people. Like, let's face it, if all of us had that much scrutiny on us, just imagine the dirt they dig up about all the dumb things we've done. The whole country rolled to a stop, I bet. Yeah, don't want to get famous because you don't want to be under a microscope. Yep. Yep. I mean, I try to be a very good person now, but like when I was younger, I certainly had my share of downright stupid or selfish or, crappy things I did. Yeah, sauna comfort right in the comfort of your own driveway, right? Speaking of, I'm working on David about the inflatable hot tub. He gave me a look yesterday when I brought it up, and I was like, I could put it right out here. Whenever he's gonna give me a look, I just talk to Kiki instead. I'm like, just think, Kiki, We could put our inflatable hot tub right out here on the patio. I'll just move the furniture to the side. Dave is just giving me a look. No, Bubba. No barks. You're just hearing stuff out my window. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Bub. It's just outside. It doesn't matter. There we go. So, they say that saunas can be very good for your long-term health. It's not my preferred. I prefer the hot tub, I'm afraid, if I'm going to choose one of the spa luxuries, quote unquote. But I think Matt DiPietro actually built his own sauna, his own mini sauna at his place. That was one of his projects during the pandemic, was to build his own sauna. Oh, yes. I'm sure. We all have something we could be judged on. The world is very good at judging other people. Yeah, it's bad enough that ducklings are nature's hors d'oeuvres as it is. I mean, so few of those little guys actually live to adulthood. It's a wonder there are still ducks. Alright, I gotta get the bottom of this knee, which is not shaded yet. Ooh, that's exciting, Trash. That's great. Congrats. I bet the homemade limoncello is the best. Like, that just sounds like something that would benefit from being made yourself. Oh, darn it. Trying to get close and keep moving off camera. Need to move my camera, I guess. This is the solution. At least you didn't take it home to SSC, yeah. Exactly. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Like, I don't drink anymore, but I'd make an exception to have a sip of that. Sounds so tasty. But then I'm totally on a fresh fruit kick these days. Anything fruity, I'm in. My favorite soap right now is lemongrass ginger that I got in Ashland. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, definitely not regular lemons. All right. My purple's a lot more solid now. I just need to make sure I've got all my highlights trimmed up and in order. Our lemon tree is just a regular lemon tree, but I still use it to make dressing. Except now I'm so addicted to that freaking strawberry vinaigrette. Oh my god. Like, I have fresh strawberries constantly in the house now. And I do strawberry balsamic vinaigrette with toasted almonds and feta cheese and fresh strawberries on my arugula salads, and it's amazing. It's freaking amazing. Oh, mix it with some Pellegrino and mint. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that sounds so good, Trash. I'm so jealous. Oh, so jealous. Immense jealousy. Right here, radiating. Radiating. I think tonight's just going to be a walking and yoga night for me. I've decided. Because my muscles are so stiff, my calves are so stiff, I'm going to need to do some muscle massage techniques. And so running again would be a bad call. And I've got CrossFit tomorrow, so I don't want to like get myself all tired and really sore and tight muscled before CrossFit. Yeah, we don't even spray our lemons. We don't have to. Our lemons are very tough. I have yet to find any parasite or bug that has managed to penetrate our lemons. We are in a blessed area. After fighting for years, almost 2 decades after fighting to have an herb garden or anything in Texas, I come out here and it's effortless. If I can keep the pests away, if I can keep the rats and stuff away, and the rats don't care about the lemons. They'll attack figs, but I don't care about my figs. I don't use them. Maybe I'll look it up, Trash. Maybe I'll look it up. Because it would be a use for our fresh lemons. But since I can't have alcohol, it would be I'd have to figure out how to make a non-alcoholic or a very, very much less alcoholic version, and then just probably, as you say, put some Pellegrino or, in my case, Polar or Topo Chico, because I believe that Pellegrino is a vastly inferior sparkling water. Although if you're trying not to add any flavor, it'd be great. Yes, Pellegrino, totally knocking you on my stream, totally. So I want to do a little bit of highlighting just there, just to bring out, even though this is a somewhat in shadow, there'd be a little light on this, so I can bring up a highlight there to separate out the pants from the fur. Yeah, there goes that sponsorship. I couldn't have a sponsorship from them anyway. I have such a low opinion of them, Quindy. Pellegrino was the water for people who really just want bubbles in their regular drinking water. I happen to like a little bit of flavor to my sparkling water. There we go. So now we've got some separation between the black fur and the purple. Maybe Topo Chico will sponsor us. Ooh. Our lemons started out like gangbusters this year because we had so much rain in the spring, but now that we're on our second growing, they're going very slow. And there are very few because we haven't been giving the tree extra water. Hey, Roger, thanks for the resub. It really is resub day. 46 months. Nice. Thank you. Okay, so I like that purple. I think we're gonna maybe stick there for now. It looks good. I don't want it to be too light. I think we'll pop that there. I kind of want to do the gold. Yeah, there's some good. There are some really good. I don't know about 0 calorie. I wouldn't, but there's good non-alcoholic. We had when we were in Ashland, because I was ordering non-alcoholic mocktails, and a lot of places had non-alcoholic mocktails, my father-in-law decided to try one that was made with a non-alcoholic amaretto. And so I got to try it, and it tasted perfect. And so now I know to order that amaretto, which is funny because it had mixed reviews. Like, but I think when I'm looking at these non-alcoholic spirits online, what I kind of suspect is that people who usually drink are like expecting the exact same experience that they're getting with alcohol, and they're not going to get that, right? Yeah, they tend to lean more on the botanics and the non-alcoholic stuff, and they do a couple of different ways to extract the alcohol. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, so now I need to get that amaretto, because in a mixed drink with other mixers in it, like you could tell that you weren't getting the alcohol right, because there's just that flavor that comes with alcohol, but it was still good, and it still tasted like a very good approximation. I forget which amaretto drink it was. But yeah. My favorite non-alcoholic cocktail brand rebranded, because nobody could say their original name. So now I'm happy. Now I can introduce them. They're rebranding, and their stuff is going to be available again in July. And they're making a new flavor. So I was like, ooh. And all my favorite flavors made the cut. Like, they cut out a lot of the other flavors they did that weren't just weren't that good. And they are developing new flavors. It's just cocktails in a can, right? But they taste a little bit boozy. Like, they taste just a little bit boozy. Like a teensy bit, though they are 0 alcohol. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, I don't want that. I mean, I don't want the bite of alcohol, really. I just want to have a cocktail that feels like a cocktail, that, tastes like a cocktail. And if it doesn't have that extra, booziness of alcohol, I'm actually pretty happy. Like, I was always happy back in the days when I could order a mixed drink and not taste the alcohol. So pretty much non-alcoholic mocktails are my thing. They're my groove. So I made another highlight color. I took a little bit of my existing highlight, and I made this one, which is really pink. It's a lot more like Runic Glow with some white in it and a little bit of this previous color in it. And I just want to put a little bit higher. Yep. Nice. Yeah, there's some funky stuff. That vacuum distillation method is one of them, right? And then they use some use a pressure boil off to get the alcohol out. I think it all gives slightly different results, but none of them are cheap techniques. But now that there is more of a market for non-alcoholic, like, a lot of companies are trying it. Like, I noticed that there's a non-alcoholic Stella now, Stella Artois, which was one of my very drinkable summer beers that I enjoyed. I thought about picking it up, but honestly, I like the mocktails more than beer, so I'm like, maybe I just don't need it. There's only a few times I spent so long without beer, I think I lost my taste for it. There we go. So just a little bit more highlighting. But yeah, that's pretty awesome that a home brewer got a vacuum distillation setup. Because I've been led to believe that none of those methods to remove the alcohol are very cheap. But yeah, I mean, less than 2% is still really good if you're sensitive to alcohol, as I am. Yeah, I thought about getting a drink mate for that. Although I prefer the very much more mineral taste of Topo Chico and Polar. Like, when I get a sparkling water that really is just sparkling water, I get very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. Drink mate does more than just water. Mm. Good to know. Yeah, because I have a friend who has a soda stream for her husband. They just do different flavored waters. Although I can't really have juice or anything, so I mean, honestly, a soda stream probably would be just fine for me. And I'm getting less and less. Like, I'm getting very, very picky about my flavored waters now. Alright, we're going to go back here and just get the edge of the pants with this lighter purple. Gotta get a good angle. Interesting recarbonation idea. Yeah, I can't do juice. Juice is just pure, like it's just pure sugars. I can't do it. And also a lot of FODMAPs for most of them, depending. But I just don't have a taste for fruit juice at all anymore. Yeah. I mean, you could also do the, water with a little bit of juice in it, like the spindrifts and stuff. There we go. Alright, that looks nice. Sweet. Nice and smooth. Smooth. Alright, cool. I want to pick up that gold a little bit. Oh, I can't do cranberry at all anymore. My gut won't take it because it's too acidic. Yeah, that's what started it, is when I started having problems with acidic things, then I had to cancel out a lot. Because I used to drink cranberry juice for UTIs and stuff. But, and orange juice for breakfast all the time, but the acidity started to really hit me and I couldn't do it. And then when I went low carb, it was, of course, totally like, it's all the carbs and none of the fiber. So now I'm letting myself have certain whole fruits, but I have to watch the FODMAPs. But yeah, I know a lot of people love juice. David loves his orange juice, although he waters it down. I used to love pineapple juice, Trash Roma, and that's probably the one I miss the most, is fresh pineapple juice. Like, the closest I get now to having it is in pina colada, non-alcoholic pina coladas when I'm on vacation. And even then I have to kind of watch how many I have. But I do love them. The non-alcoholic pina colada is my dream drink. Alright, I'm just gonna, let's see here. Let's just mix the highlight for our gold. Gonna get some lantern yellow, pop some white in it. I still let myself have, even though my non-alcoholic mocktails in a can they do have some sugar in them, I still let myself have one every day. But it's like very little sugar. They keep them pretty low carb, which is what I love about this company. Well, it's a lot of calories. I try to have just one, for sure one a day, and then, like, usually I only have, like, 2, maybe 3 the whole vacation when we're in Hawaii. Like, I have to pick my days to allow myself to have my pina coladas. But, the non-alcoholic ones are just creme de coco and coconut and pineapple juice with ice. But yeah, I can't have very many of them. Just gonna mix up a couple of yellows to start getting that gold popped up. You know, I keep thinking about doing protein shakes, and I have the protein powder, but I just never really, like, I can't really fit it into my diet. Like, I'm just looking at them, because it seems like every way there is to make it is just more calories than I really want to spend on something. And I get my protein in plenty of other ways. I used to have one after I worked out in the summer, but even now I'm just like, I have a pineapple cottage cheese instead, and maybe a date. If I've really worked out hard, I'll let myself have a date. I love dates. Dates have FODMAPs, but if I eat one, I don't have a reaction. Plus they're high calorie anyway, and super high carb, but they're so tasty. Alright, so we got our light yellow, I'm going to need a white as well, and I'll need my rich leather, and then we can get all this little gold, all the gold stuff figured out. But yeah, I do love me a pina colada. It is my favorite. Can't have any margaritas anymore because the acidity of that much lime is too much. I remember the last margarita I had when I realized I would never be able to have margaritas ever again. Between the alcohol and the lime. It was kind of a sad night. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the pre-made protein shakes. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. For sure. Yeah, my difficulty with protein shakes is that they almost always have artificial sweeteners, and most of the time that's going to be erythritol, which I can't have anymore because it really hits my gut badly. Or when they have stevia, it just seems like they've got too much of it. Like, I need some, like, unsweetened ones that I can just add a little stevia to. That would be, like, the ultimate. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm on National University, uh-huh. Yeah, sugar types are weird with me, Smallish Sam, because, like, I think it's all tied to amounts, because, like, I can still have garlic, but I've cut out most onions. But if I have, like, just a little bit of onion that's cooked, then I can do it. You know, but garlic doesn't seem to have a problem with me in any amount that I've had it thus far. But of course, you're always working with fairly small amounts with garlic. But asparagus is like entirely off my diet. Asparagus is a big nasty for me. Mushrooms hit me. Cabbage, if it's raw, hits me. Although if I cook the cabbage, I can have a decent amount before I have issues. Well, I am like right in the beginning of it, Smallish Sam. Like, I don't think I've been reacting like only for a couple of years or something, and it's pretty mild. So yeah, I've gotten lucky. Alright, let's start putting, I want this gold in here right now because I want to get this barrier in between the purple and the shirt. But yeah, mostly, I mean, an elimination diet was absolutely no problem for me, Sam, because I just went like low carb. And then I slowly added everything in, right? I just went back to, not quite keto, but, you know, I cut it down to proteins and fats and just the carbs that I knew, like just like my sugary cocktail or my oatmeal in the morning that I know I don't react to. And then I just added in like little bits of various vegetables. I'm still testing. Like last night it was, we made fish tacos and I made slaw with the raw cabbage. And it did hit me pretty hard. So now I think I'm gonna. David's like, oh no, it means we can't have fish tacos anymore, and it's one of our favorites. And I'm like, no, that doesn't mean it at all, because I think I'm just gonna shred carrots, which I know are no problem, and then I'm gonna use iceberg lettuce. Because if I shred the iceberg lettuce, it's not like we have leftovers anyway of the slaw. We usually don't eat them if we do. So the fact that the lettuce can't stand up for as long isn't a big deal. Like, I just need to make it fresh, and then we can have it on the shrimp tacos or the fish tacos, and it'll be great. Yeah. Interesting, Thormel. I can do, yeah, the Monash app is, I haven't needed it yet. Like, I'm very, and again, I think this comes from doing keto for so long, guys. But I was so used to like looking at anything in any restaurant and figuring out, like, what is it, what's in it. I just got reflexive about it, and now like eating out is just, it's pretty easy. Now it helps that the restaurants that we tend to go to are pretty explicit about stuff on the menu, and if I just, tomatoes are my real big doom, and so as long as I ask them if there's any tomatoes in it, I'm pretty good. Tomato is often hidden in dishes. But a lot of the stuff that I react to, like asparagus, if there's just a tiny bit in it, I'm not going to react. So I have it much easier than many of you. And I feel for a lot of you that react to even tiny amounts. That would drive me nuts. I would have to go to a very simplified diet. But it's good that the app serves you that way. So once I get that little gold fringe in there, it acts with the purple. It helps to separate it out. Since they're complements, they're going to make each other stand out more. So it helps to separate the jacket from the pants then. Especially because the red and the purple are kind of the same shade, or will be. Oh, yawn. Yeah, I did not sleep that great last night thanks to the cabbage, but I will recover. At least it's not a CrossFit day. I don't have to do any hard physical activity tonight, and I can get my nap in. But yeah, for the most part, cabbage, asparagus. I can have broccoli and cauliflower as long as they're cooked. Cooking it versus not cooking seems to make a huge difference for me. David was laughing and totally said that it's kind of funny that the FODMAPs you've had to absolutely give up are the ones that you don't like, that you've never liked. Except I pointed out he was wrong, because onions. I always loved onions, and now I have to be very careful. I can't have my awesome sauteed onions anymore. You get some rich leather out here and thin it down so that I can bring down the yellow if you need to when you're doing NMM Gold and you're finding that you're getting way too yellow. Having a little bit of the rich leather or raw sienna to glaze can be a real saver there, because it's a it is a yellow, but it's a very muted yellow. And yet it has a certain vibrancy to it when you pull it real thin, so that you can use it to kind of intensify your gold a little bit and bring it down from being too yellow. Yeah, onions are onions, Penrig. Usually now I just use green onions, because the white part is so small that usually if I just chop that up, it's not going to give an appreciable amount of onions to the overall dish, and that means I can still eat it. And it'll still give the flavor. But the green parts of green onions are just fine. They don't have the same chemical in them, the same sugars. So I'll mostly use just the green parts. But yeah, I think iceberg lettuce in place of cabbage and slaw would work just fine. I could put it through my food processor and grate it up. They are called scallions or green onions, depending on where you are in the country. I used to call them scallions because I was in the Midwest, but now I call them green onions because that's what the grocery store calls them. I understand them by both names. It's like soda and pop. So you've got that border then. That's nice and bright. So that's standing out really nicely. Yep, spring onions. Yep. I've seen them as spring onions also. I don't need it. I don't miss onions so much because I can use green onions a lot, Thermal, and I can still have a little bit of onion in there. I wouldn't use infused oil for onion, I don't think. I have a garlic infused oil, though. Like, I really feel like I need the garlic one for things like shrimp scampi. Where I don't want to go too overboard with the garlic because there's a chance that, because garlic and onions are so similar, there's a chance that I would react if to the vast amount of garlic I tend to put in a scampi. So I got some garlic oil to do that. But yeah, onion oil, I don't know that I'd... Maybe for Indian cooking. But I wouldn't want olive oil for that. I'm more likely to make my own onion infused oil if I really want it, but a lot of the time I find that I can fry the onions in the oil and then pull the onions out and I'll have that flavor, so... But yeah, infused oils are very, very much a lifesaver for a lot of people I know. But I'm talking like the core of the iceberg should be just fine. And I hate to say it, but I love iceberg lettuce. I like it for its crunchiness, not because of it doesn't have a flavor. But yeah, you have a point that romaine might work a little bit better there because they've got those stalks, but I don't like the flavor of the stalks or the texture of them, whereas I like the iceberg. So I think that I would try to use the iceberg first and see. And then and I'll still put some carrots through the processor and use those. I just won't, I'll do everything except the cabbage. Maybe I'll do some bell pepper or something, I don't know. It has the same things in it, Laura. Yeah. I do shallots, but I pull them out or give them all to David. I love leeks, but the only way I love leeks is in leek and potato soup, and there's no way in Blazes I'd be able to have that much leek without dying, so no more leek and potato soup for me, I'm afraid. That used to be my favorite in the wintertime. I would make leek and potato soup or early spring, I would make leek and potato soup with watercress in it. And it kills me because my local grocery store actually has watercress. I saw it the other day and I'm like, dang it. Hey, Richard. I was just talking about you because I am like a tiny little bit away from finishing the book. So I'm lining up my beta readers and making sure that everybody is ready. It'll still be a couple weeks because I need to edit. I need to do my rewrite, and then I need to put it through Pro Writing Aid and let its AI catch all the things that I glossed over. And test it. This is actually my test of Pro Writing Aid. To see how well it catches the mistakes that I tend to make. Which is usually using a word that's not quite right. A word that sounds kind of like the word that I want, but isn't quite right for... I tend to do that a lot, probably because I'm writing fast, and that's just spits out the wrong word. Yes, book news. Used to love French onion soup. Yeah, onions are definitely the thing I miss the most, but it's just, again, I've done so many elimination type diets at this point. I have learned that the trick is just to concentrate on what you love eating about the current diet and not worry about the crap that you can't eat anymore. It does me no good to sit there and pine away over onions. I'm just very pragmatic about it. I'm not green onions are a good enough sub for me. I'm learning to use them. And I just I didn't agonize over it at all. I just went, oh, well, this is the new normal, and I just adapted. And I think that's just from like all the things with gluten free and then the keto, all the diet modifications I've had to do over the last 10 years. At this point, I'm like a super diet woman. Like, you can just give me any challenge, and I'm just going to be like, oh, all right. And I just refocused on all the things I can still eat that I love, so. Oh, yep. Bye. Bye, Laura. Have a good stream. Yeah. I mean, I don't normally eat iceberg lettuce at all. Do take that into consideration. When I eat a salad, I never have iceberg. I actually prefer things like power greens or arugula. I eat arugula salad an awful lot. So I never have it in salad, but I do love it in lettuce wraps because I like the clean, fresh, like watery taste of it. Like, it's just really crisp. It gives that crunchy texture. So I don't like iceberg lettuce in salads, but I do like it in other food things. Paired with hot foods or savory foods. So I'm going to try it, and we'll see how it does. Because we made our fish recipe last night. I made it without like a real breading, but I still like made some spiced almond flour, and kind of dusted it in that before I fried it. They had fresh cod at the store, so that was why we were fish tacoing. Wild caught fresh. But I guess we don't have like farmed cod yet, so it's all wild. But yeah, so we got that cut down on the amount of fat that clung to the food, and it cut down on the carbation. So, and the calories overall. Here, alias here is Rocket. Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite lettuce. David hates it. Yeah, it's like eating crunchy water. Probably Thormel. Probably. It's good to know how to find arugula if I'm ever in Europe. Thanks, Kuro. Yeah, green leaf is what my mom likes to use. She likes softer leaves than me. She doesn't like the ones that are really, like, strong flavored like I do. David is the same. He likes his spring mix. And he complains if the spring mix, like in seasons where there's too much arugula in the spring mix, he'll complain. Just kind of lightening up the edges here a little bit, leaving a little bit of variation. Cool. Yeah, spring mix is good. Yes, butter leaf does not taste like butter. Agreed. All right. Now on the edges of these, I gotta be a bit more correct. I'm very annoyed at my trip to Ashland. It put me back like a whole week. It took me a whole week to lose the pound that I gained on that trip, plus the water weight. And now I'm down another pound finally from where I was. But like that was a terrible trip for weight, because it was just, it's too much eating out, way too much eating out. Next time I put my foot down. Like if they want to eat out 2 meals a day, fine, but I don't want to. I'm just gonna pack a lunch. Oh no, slugs. Yeah, you've got all the pests over there, Kuro. Must be challenging to grow things there. We have slugs here, but they mostly live in like the front in the mulch. And so since most of my gardening is potted, I can put them in the middle of a patio and it makes it harder for slugs to get to them. Plus now it's just too dry of a season for the slugs to really hang out in our area. Our yard is, at least our front yard is pretty minimalist garden, desert type plants. But yeah, I can see slugs eat everything. You need more hedgehogs and possums to eat those slugs. Eat those slugs back. Take vengeance. Oh, a bird just hit the glass. Bird, seriously? He didn't knock himself out. He just fluttered against there for a second. I had to put stickers on the big windows, but they still hit these back windows every once in a while. Oh, nice. Nice snakes. Snake habitat. The lady in the corner is concerned. No slugs. Yeah, the slugs would catch fire in Arizona. Ah, yes. For our garden. Yes. Yes, a pet hedgehog for our garden. But the problem with growing things where you are is that everything catches fire. Green users. Just trying to highlight the top of this up to white, just to bring it up. I would like to lose a pound a week. If I lose a pound a week, then I'll be down to like 172 by the time the 5K hits. I would like that. It's not enough, but it's a good start. I think I told when I went in to tell David that I wanted to do this yesterday, I think he was just relieved that I wasn't asking him to do it with me. I told him maybe we could do it together and take Kiki next year, because it's actually dog friendly. But your dog has to be well behaved, so it's like, if you have any doubts about your dog, do not bring it. And I'm like, yeah, Kiki, I have doubts. Wow, Kerniko. Maybe your slugs are drunk. Maybe they've just become alcoholics. Your echinacea is still alive. That's great. Just putting in a little bit of shadow. I'm using my dark purple for this. There's no reason I can't use a complementary color to be the shadow on my NMM Gold. Normally I use brown liner, but this is a mixture of brown liner and purples. If her enchilada was alive, I'd be very concerned about how long she left it in her refrigerator. I learned this weekend that in order to be effective, stretches should be hurdy. I told my stream on Saturday I've discovered the most tortuous stretch for quads ever. I just call it the torture stretch now. I did do it last night before I went to do my walk run. Every garden needs a hedgehog, yeah. Oh, you did a lava dragon. I'm about to start my lava dragon. Get a little bit of under highlight on here. There. Yeah. Yeah, counting hours on dragons is just disheartening. They all blur into each other. I don't blame you. Gonna have to do my torture stretch as punishment for sitting during this stream. I did use my standing desk more yesterday because now I'm so conscious of my really tight quad muscles. So when it comes to doing like the little gold edges on everything, it's going to be very stylistic. There's such little room here that really like all I need to know is that there's a shadow right under the hood, and then blend up my highlight to the corner and blend it back from this area, and that's good enough. Like when you're doing like gold edging on things, you can get very simple and very, very like just very stylized on it, not very realistic. At this scale, it just makes sense. There's so much that like if this was a much larger model, we could do so much more with it. But because it's so tiny, because it's 28, there's just not a lot of room for realism here. I counted when I was at Reaper because, yes, people always ask that question, so I wanted to have an answer for it. Also, I was just curious. Reaper Gallery quality used to take me 12 to 15 hours. And then competition level was like double that time plus an additional like 10 to 20 hours, depending. I've gotten faster though. I just walked by a hummingbird last night. I always say, hello, bird. We have a lot of them here. A lot of people plant hummingbird flowers in their yards here in this neighborhood and this area for that matter. So there's a lot of food source for them. I kind of wonder with some of these things if it's shifting habitats as global warming kicks in. Deep Indigo, a color I regret getting canceled. Was a great color. There we go. So that's really all we need there. We really don't need to do anything else. Here we'll do a little bit on the chest. And then I get down here at the corner to pick that out. And again, based only roughly on realism. When you have fine things like this that you're doing in NMM, it doesn't pay, kind of stay in the realm of realism. Like, obviously the light would hit this, so I'm going to put a highlight on it, and then I'm going to put a shadow. After that, it's just alternating light and dark to make it seem like it's shiny. Yeah, habitat destruction, yep. So here, same thing. I'm going to put a highlight in the middle, and then leave a little bit of shadow, and then bring it up a little bit more. Okay, bye, Turgeon. Yeah. Are those the Kuro colors? Like David's got red and teal. You've got like dark indigo and red. Oh, the yawn attacks are hitting me hard. I definitely will need my nap middle of the afternoon. I would like Kiki to be my running partner at some point in her life, but I think it's going to take some practice. The problem is she pulls too much, and it just has a higher chance to hurt me because of the greater impact then that she's pulling me onto my knees and shins and stuff. She's adding pressure. So I have to train her to run nicely before we can do that. A-nap sounds great, yep. Okay, bye, Crowley. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I trained Thorn to do that, Kroniko. Back when I was working with him with his reactivity in Texas. I got a bike arm and trained him to go alongside the bike with me. The reason I stopped is that too many people just let their dogs just run without keeping them leashed or in a yard. Or they'd have them in a yard, but then the dog would learn how to get out and they didn't care. So we would just keep, like, every time I made some success with him, some loose dog would come barreling at us and out of nowhere, and then we'd, lose progress. And so I just decided it was better for me to have him just walk with me on a short leash where I could see the surroundings and react faster. Because it's very hard to get between your dog and a threat when you're on a bike. So we ended up not doing that, but it was cool. He was a high energy dog and he needed the exercise anyway. Yeah. Yeah, in Texas it was really bad. Here it's really good. Here it's like, if you go by the school park, you should expect people to be off leash because that's just what we use it for. But otherwise, like, I've never, like, met just a dog just wandering around in our neighborhood. People here are pretty good. Alright, so again, we're just going to hit the corners and we're going to leave a shadow and then the highlight at the top of the arm there. So again, it's just alternating light and dark. Very simple. Very simple way to do little tiny bits of enamel like this when you really can't do anything realistic. Thorny turned out okay in the end. Now he's passed away. Last year, I think. He turned out to be a good dog in the end. After I worked so hard on him. Oh yeah. That's sad. It's just sad that dogs get that way. My gym, my coaches at CrossFit have been looking for a new dog, and they got lucky and got a Staffordshire Terrier, which is a breed that gets, it's mistaken for AP, American Pit Bull Terrier. But she's they got her from a show home that she just turned out to be very cowhocked, and so they couldn't show her, and so they just looked for a really good pet home, so Andrew and Allie got her. And she's very sweet. She looks just such a sweetie. She's only 7 months old. Yeah, he's just friendly. Yeah, right. People who, like, have no idea, right? Either that or they know their dog is aggressive and they're trying to diffuse the situation and tell an untruth, right? So that you don't report them and their dog. It's just sad. Yeah. Well, and this was a show dog, so pretty much she'd been in the show ring since she was like 12 weeks old. So she's like super chill and pretty unflappable. Which is good because their other dog is actually has confidence issues, so hopefully Lilu, which is what they named their Staffy, which is a cute name. Lilu will help their other dog. She's pretty fearless. Oh, yeah, I totally did not notice that we had gone hugely over time. I'm just sitting here chilling, talking dogs, whatever, doing NMM, just, like you do, right? But anyway, you guys can see, like, how the edging, like, really helps to define the various areas of the model, especially because the fur is so dark, the pants are dark, the red is dark. So now that we've got some of that gold in here, we really can, it's just gives a nice separation to those, and it isolates those areas and makes everything stand out a little bit better. We still have more areas to do on the bracer and the hood, but I think I'll just call this, since Quindy just showed me we're really over time. Tomorrow, yay, Orc Lady is here. That's right, I was thinking about a very, very dark red here, so we're starting work trying to figure out colors for her. Working on reds. I'm gonna put that red down here as well. Yeah, for sure. It's a full house. Our strawberry plants are doing better now that, or plant is doing better now that I fertilized it, but I still need to go. I meant to go and get another strawberry plant this weekend, and I just ran out of time. All right, people. I hope you had a great one. Orc Lady hopes that you come and watch her get painted tomorrow. I'm still thinking about colored hair on her, although it really depends on how it all comes out. I'll probably give her black hair, but maybe I'll give it a particular color. But at this point, it really depends, because I'm putting that dark red there too. Yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Karnika, remember to send me a message on Discord so that I can get with you about beta reading. All right? Thank you all. Thank you, Quindy, especially, for reminding me that I had to stop eventually. I would have looked at the clock. It would have been noon. And I will see you guys all around, all right? Have a great one.